Hey guys, gonna look at this new custom trim and long trim quoter that we created. It should be a really easy, simple tool to use, but I'm gonna go ahead and just highlight all the basic functions to show kind of, and hopefully this will reduce some of the errors and stuff that we might be having. And which, like I said, there, sometimes, especially when you get multiples, it can be easy to, miss a number or something. So let's just go over this together. So basically, let's say you have a piece of trim that kind of looks like this, and say the customer hand draws, I don't know, like a custom G trim or something. And let's say they have a hem over here. Okay, that's my hem. So let's say this is 4 and 3 and 2. We'll do 2, and then this is a hem. Okay, so I'll show you kind of basically how we're going to do this. Now, whenever you're calculating the hem, what you'll need to do is calculate the full side that is from here to here. Okay, so when you add a hem, all it's going to do is add this part. So make sure that you're not doing like 1.5 right here. If it goes from the corner to the outside of the hem, that's the one that we're going to use for our number. So we got 4, 3, 2, 2. So I'll show you kind of how we do this with this little calculator. It should be really simple. There's only 3 outputs, but the inputs, usually with all of our tools at B&M, the inputs are yellow. So anything in yellow is something you're going to add. Anything in red is going to be something that's outputted to you. And you'll see there's some hidden columns and stuff here. If you want more information about what's going on, you can open those columns up if you want to, but I would recommend just kind of keeping those closed. There's a lot of data and stuff that's being done behind the scenes to make this work. But like I said, if you're interested in it, you can take a look at it. So this is what we are going to do. So select, like, for example, 26 gauge sil poly. So you select your material, select your price level. So we'll do contractor, and then go ahead and select how many hems you want. It's either no, 1, or 2. This is pretty basic. So ours had 1. And then you want to do your length. Now, if you leave this at 10 foot, that's fine if that's what you're doing for your standard, but it will calculate it for 10 foot either way. So let's say in this case that the customer is wanting 21 foot trim. So we'll do a 21 footer, and then our numbers, we'll go back and look and see what our customer drew, which is 4, 3, 2, 2, right? So 4, 3, 2, 2. So I'm just going to put those numbers in for all these sides. 4, 3, 2, 2. Now, as long as it's 0, this is not going to count. It's not going to count any kind of bins or anything. So you could put zeros all the way through, and you'll see the price does not change because it doesn't matter. It has to be a number higher than 0. So these can either be blank or they can be 0. Either one's fine. And that's it. So once you put in your 1 hem, your 4, your 3, your 2, your 2, that's your side dimensions. You're going to get your price per inch. So you can actually look this up on your table to see if it's correct, again, or you can look inside here and just make sure that these numbers line up with what is current. If they need to be updated or anything, just let me know and we can do that until we kind of pull off of a general price sheet. Your 10 foot piece, $33.55, and your 21 foot piece is $83.64. So this might be beneficial for a customer if you're wanting to give them a competitive rate and say, well, if you were to do 10, if they thought this was high, you can say, well, if you were to do 10 footers, you're looking at $33.55. And again, I'll show you that if you do 10 foot, it should just give you the same number across the board, and it does $33.55, $33.55. As with all Excel tools, you will notice, for example, if you were to just put 5 in here and you leave it right here, the tool is not going to activate. That is the case with every tool in Excel. You have to actually click off of your focused cell for it to register. So make sure that we do that. That's kind of just something I feel like a lot of people have run into, where they put in this final number 2. Let's see, I'll get rid of that, and then there's your 27. You put in this final number 2, and then they just sit there, and they're wondering why the tool is not updating. It's because that's active. It's not actually in the cell yet, but once you click off, it will enter it into the cell, and that value will be 2, and then it will put it into the tool. So anyway, this is just a quick, easy tool just to kind of reduce some of these errors. You'll see that what you can do is, as you can go back and change it over to, say, wholesale, for example. You can change it to retail. You can actually change the color. So anything you change once your numbers are in, if they want to maybe look at different pricing or different gauges, it will calculate that for you as well. And then even honestly changing the hem, it will actually add a second bend and everything. So it's doing all that behind the scenes, so you don't really have to. So if there's any functionality to this tool that you want me to add, anything that would be useful or helpful, like if it's another output or anything like that that I can add in this area, you let me know and I'll do it. If it needs to be expanded in any way, that's fine too. Or if you have any questions about how it runs, just shoot me an email and I'll get back to you. So I'm going to share out the link to this Excel sheet. Most people should be on here, but I'll send out the link. Yeah, there's a lot of people on here. And don't worry about like messing it up. You can't change these values. I can, but you cannot. So like you won't mess anything up. But and then like I said, by changing any of this stuff, you shouldn't mess up the tool at all. But if you do, just let me know and I can roll it back to another date. So I'll send this email out with the video. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks. Bye.